The closing week of the Cannes Film Festival 2025 buzzed with premiere glamour, sharp interviews, and quiet anticipation of the awards to come. The History of Sound premiered to a packed audience. The film, long discussed as a festival highlight, drew strong attendance as its cast walked the red carpet. The response was enthusiastic, setting the tone for the closing weekend. Back on the interview schedule, John C. Reilly spoke about his role in Heads or Tails, an Italian Western where he plays the legendary Buffalo Bill.
When I must bid you arrivederci. Before I do, I will leave you with this. If you must shoot, do not miss. And always aim for the heart. The film was in another language and there's English in it. That's usually kind of one of the things you offer, like, well, an American might say it this way or whatever. But we had more work to do than that, than just about like making the language sound right. It was really about helping them craft the myth of Buffalo Bill and how it worked in service of this woman's liberation. The character of Rosa, you know, it's really the story of Rosa freeing herself from the bonds of patriarchy, basically. And it's funny that a patriarchal character like Buffalo Bill Cody is the one that like inspires her to do that.
Another funny thing is that the movie premiered in the Un Certain Regard section, a part of the festival that John is quite familiar with, as he served as jury president of the section in 2023. So the directors of Heads or Tails were very eager to pick his brain.
They were curious too. They were like, you know, what was it like? Like, does it matter if you show at the beginning of the week or the end of the week? And I have to say, like, I just told them, look, I was very fair. You know, I gave every single film its chance. When you're on the inside of the festival, you can't speak to the filmmakers, you can't tell anyone your opinions. You're in this little kind of wonderful cocoon. But this time it's, you know, I'm just another player on the field.
Two-time Palme d'Or winners the Dardenne brothers spoke candidly about Young Mothers, a story that focuses on women navigating their early stages of parenthood under socioeconomic pressure. Even though the story of the film could have been quite a downer, the filmmakers chose to focus on hope.
Je pense que nous avons voulu que la fiction remplisse son rôle, c'est-à-dire que la fiction donne des possibilités au réel. Et qu'une de ces possibilités-là, c'était que toutes ces filles échappent, même si ce n'est que momentané, même si ce n'est que de faibles espoirs, mais échappent à leur destin. Et qu'elles se confrontent à lui pendant 1h30, et que finalement, au bout de ce chemin, il y a une lumière fragile, comme dit. C'est ça qui nous a guidés. On s'est dit, on fait de la fiction, et la fiction, c'est ça aussi. Voilà, c'est donner d'autres possibilités à la réalité.
Address you wanted?
Thanks, MJ.
Honey, right? Love those click-clacking heels.
Meanwhile, the tapis rouge at the Grand Théâtre Lumière lit up during the premiere of Honey Don't, a new dark comedy by Ethan Coen, boasting a stellar cast that includes Margaret Qualley and Aubrey Plaza. Next came a conversation about sentimental value with director Joachim Trier and stars Renate Reinsve, Elle Fanning, and Stellan Skarsgård in attendance. The movie tells the story of two estranged sisters and their distant father, a once famous but now almost forgotten filmmaker who wants to direct an autobiographical movie about his mother, and is able to cast Hollywood actress Rachel Kemp to play the part, who in turn is played by Fanning.
We had a press conference just like this in the movie, so we're like, but yeah, playing an actor, it's not necessarily any different, it's still a character, but there are similarities that you can't help but draw from your personal life. You know, and things that Rachel was going through, I've experienced those feelings before, so you can, you know, that helps.
Sentimental Value reunites director Joachim with actress Renate after they previously worked together on the critically acclaimed drama Worst Person in the World. As this new collaboration went on to win the festival's Grand Prix prize, clearly it was another success.
It was more emotional and it was more punk in a way, in that new punk way. But we really had to explore and dive into something that was a lot more emotional and complex in the way that the relationship is structured and put up against each other. And it was as amazing as the last time, but very, very different.
Then came the closing ceremony, where jury president Juliette Binoche and her panel handed out this year's awards to their deserving winners. Among those honored was Nadia Maliti, named Best Actress for her performance in Hafsia Hersi's coming-of-age drama La Petite Dernière, which was actually Nadia's debut role, making her director doubly excited about her win.
I felt very proud. I was full of emotion. It was an incredible human and artistic adventure to work with Nadia. For her, it was the very first time, and I didn't get the impression this was the first time for her as an actress. It was so simple. It's not the end, but the beginning of our adventure.
The jury prize this year was a tie, shared by In de Sonne schauen from Masha Shalinsky and Oliver Lax's Sirat.
I very much wanted to talk about the voice of women. Women who sometimes live in places where they can't make films. I dedicate this prize to all those women who don't have the material or other means to make films. I said to myself, just make this film as though it was the last one you'll ever make. Even if it's a failure and nobody wants it, don't lie to yourself. Don't be afraid. Even if the film is a big flop, it will make me grow as a person.
Best Screenplay went to the Dardenne brothers for Young Mothers, but it wasn't their first win at the festival, as they have quite a track record at this point.
C'est consulter tous ensemble avec mes collègues et pour compter les prix que vous avez eu à Cannes. Ça n'a pas été facile, hein. Alors si on a raison, si on ne s'est pas trompé, c'est le 9e, c'est ça?
Je sais pas.
Si on inclut les prix pour les acteurs.
Ouais, je crois que c'est 8. Je sais pas.
Et c'est pas le 9e celui-là?
Attends, je sais plus. 2 fois le scénario. 2
fois la palme.
2 fois la palme.
Grand prix.
1 fois le grand prix.
Un prix spécial.
Un prix spécial.
La mise en scène.
La mise en scène.
7, 8.
Et les 2 acteurs, oui, ça fait 9. Ouais, 9.
The movie O Agente Secreto picked up Best Director for Kleber Mendoca Filho and Best Actor for Wagner Moura, who'd already left the fest to shoot another project in London, but managed to make an appearance anyway.
So, would you say a few words? I think in English, because we have many international journalists.
I so wish I was there with all of you, but I'm here by myself, having a glass of wine in London alone.
And the festival's top prize, the Palme d'Or for Best Picture, went to the Iranian film Un Simple Accident from director Jafar Panahi, who hopes the award will mean good things for his homeland.
I don't view this in any personal way. I think that people in the Iranian cinema have had to fight hard to reach this point. All my colleagues have worked in even more difficult circumstances than I. At the time, nobody knew about Iranian cinema in the world, but these other people laid the foundations of the Iranian cinema and enabled us to reach this point today.
That was it for the 78th Annual Cannes Film Festival. We'll see you next year for number 79.